I suppose it's always a challenge going to a new team.
Right, and now here's the thing, is as somebody who grew up outside of England and played his career in English football, it's never home. So I'm always a little bit more sympathetic to somebody who is not English and has now, well, spent 6 years at Liverpool, for more than that when you add in his time at Southampton. So it's not as jarring a decision, not as difficult a decision to go somewhere else, because as good as things have been, you're not home. Right. And so it's the decision to move elsewhere that isn't home is an easier one for Sadio Mane. So I'm sympathetic in that regard. But at the same time, he is in a good place at Liverpool. And I'm like Craig in that when you hear about players leaving clubs that they're settled in, that are successful, you always start to question that, because for all the frustrations, Liverpool are competing at the top end of the Premier League, or certainly will be. They've played, 3 of the last 5 Champions League finals, so they are one of Europe's big boys, even though they've lost 2 of those finals. So that for me is a little bit concerning. As much as you see the players coming in, like Jota and Diaz, you felt it was more Firmino who was more likely to be displaced. Yes. You know, so that for me, from that aspect, I'm a little bit confused.
I mean, I'm maybe backtracking a little bit here, and there maybe is a little bit of a challenge going to Bayern, but then you've got to look at the timing as well. We've talked on the show about Lewandowski's position. He's not a happy chappy. Mm-hmm. Chances are he may go. Thomas Müller is certainly in the twilight of his career. They've lost defenders to free transfers. They've got problems at the back. Is Bayern Munich looking to you, when I bring those scenarios up, a team that's really going to challenge in the Champions League, right, unless they go out and spend a lot of money, which generally they haven't done? So I even look at the timing of it. I mean, that being said, I still think they would probably win the Bundesliga, even having maybe losing Lewandowski or blah blah blah. Dortmund have lost Haaland, but here you're at a team who have literally fought on every front this year, right to the end. Right to the end. As a player, getting paid handsomely at a magnificent club in the best league in the world at the moment. How much better does it get than that? What else do you I don't understand what else you need to make you happy. Unless it's a family decision and a family wants to move, then I'll hold my hands up and say that's a different matter. A football decision?
See, the other thing to this is that he's got a year left on his contract. And having been in similar positions, when your contract is winding down, you're into the club, or your agent is, and saying, well, we've got 3 years left, we've got 2 years left, let's start talking now. And while there'll be speculation and stories in the papers going way back about those negotiations and where they fell flat or whatever it may be, for a player like Sadio Mane, as important as he has been, for the success that Liverpool has enjoyed over the last few years, the fact that he's now a year left suggests that there's been a disconnect. And if there's a disconnect, again, just kind of going back to, well, I'm not home anyway, you've got no family connection with Liverpool. You just think, well, if the club are prepared to mess me around, I'm looking at this purely from Sadio Mane's perspective. If the club are willing to mess me around in the manner that they have over the last 12 or 18 months, then, you know what? I'm going to walk away.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.